And we're here.
We're
Hey,
live.
hey, everybody! Welcome to another episode of Nightmare Road. I, of course, am one of your. Could you stop? I, of course, am one of your hosts, Decon, and I am here with a very, very fabulous.
Ashley Oracle, and I am here with the beautiful, lovely, amazing, fantastic, greatest CIA agents of all time.
Dirty Birdie.
Yes,
Oh man! And
that
before
was
we
good.
start, guys, yeah, it was amazing. Before we start, guys, hit the like and subscribe button if you haven't already. If you want more of this garbage content, um, oh, you know what? You know how I get excited about history and all that kind of stuff? It's like one of my favorite things. So I was um I was reading on the Lafitte brothers. Um and no, it's that's not what they are. They're not like famous like
I was doing
podiatrists
this, and
or
you didn't even notice.
what?
I was doing this the entire time you were talking, and you didn't even notice. You're oblivious.
It's not that I'm oblivious. It's just that in life, the things that do not edify you, you just cast aside. So anyway, it, what I love about American history is that it's one of those things where you have, this incredible story of our nation, and one of them was okay. So during the Battle of 1812, the British are like, we want a round two, over taxes and all that kind of shit. So here you had old Hickory, later became a president. You had old Hickory, he was a general, and he encountered a year prior to the battle. Sorry, guys, year prior to the battle, he encountered the Lafitte brothers, and they were these French, exporters of things. They export all kinds of stuff, and he says, "What are you guys in here for?" This is one of the stories, by the way. There's many different versions of the story, but this one was my favorite that I really liked. So he's like, "What are you guys in here for?" And they're like, "Well, we insulted the king by exporting some goods, and we were exporting them to the common folk. So we're gonna be sentenced to be hanged." And he's like, "No, you're not." So he kind of gets them out of there, right? So that happens, and they leave. So then during the Battle of 1812, you have these, British people trying to take over, the British army is trying to take over the United States again, and you have this battle that's going on, right? And what's cool is that you have the Americans on these boats because now there's a naval battle, and the British, holy shit, the British were at the time they were a very formidable force in the seas. They had these amazing ships. So they're fighting this war, right? They're going boom, 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 back and forth with these giant ships. And then out of nowhere comes these ships that are kind of raggedy looking, but now they're beginning to fire onto the British troops. Cannons, they're shooting canisters, all kinds of things. They have these cannons and they're packing them with wrenches, anything that was metal, and just launching them, hitting the ships. And upon closer inspection, the Lafitte brothers were pirates. And here they had like a gang of pirates now waging war. Let's see. I'd like to make a request to have the image that was up while we were waiting be available for merch. I don't know what the image was.
That's solid.
What?
It's whatever you put up for the show today.
Oh, geez. Okay, I'll figure it out. I gotta find out what it is, and then I'll. So anyway, so we'll get back to that. So here you have, the American forces, and they're crashing onto these British people. You have pirates. You have the two brothers, and they've recruited all these pirates to come in, and they're just, waging war on these British troops, right? So now these British are getting hammered everywhere. They're getting like a girl with no self-esteem. They're just getting, hit left and right with all kinds of things. So finally, the British, their naval ships are nearly completely destroyed, and then they surrender. They leave. So old Hickory becomes a president and he actually pardons the Lafitte brothers. And to this very day in New Orleans, there's a bar. I think it's called the Lafitte's Blacksmith's Forge or something. It's a pub, and it was given to them back in that time, like 1814, for them to actually have as a bar, and it's still standing to this very day. It's one of the oldest bars in New Orleans. So
Let's go.
there you go. Yeah. So
I'll
there you
go.
go. Yeah. Let's go. So that's all I got for Deacon's historical nothing, because he probably has ADD. So, anyways, guys, last week we were talking about conspiracies. We were talking about those conspiracies that are so dark.
And we
Have you
left off
guys?
with the Wizard of Oz.
Yes, we left off with the Wizard of Oz. So, have you guys researched some more and kind of seen some new stuff that you guys would like to talk about?
I was looking
Alright.
into missing people in national forests, like kind of
Oh, that one's wild.
the missing 411, and I was digging into that, and I came across something that piqued my interest with Yosemite National Forest, and there seems to be like a cluster of people disappearing out of a place called Camp Curry.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, like I don't know. There's like a handful of cases of people going into Camp Curry, which is a huge area, by the way. Huge
Damn.
campsite. They've got places they've got a lodge that you could stay in. They've got cabins you can stay in. You got campgrounds, bathrooms, the whole thing. But people go in and they don't come out, and that piqued my interest because if it happens once, it's strange. If it happens twice, people's ears perk up. Happens 3 times, something's going on.
Oh yeah, it's a pattern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
But
know what?
it's
Have
not
you heard?
over and over and over again? It's like a span of like one person disappears, and then it's five years later somebody disappears. And
Have you heard the
they
conspiracy
disappear,
with
and
it?
then 2 years later somebody else disappears from the same place, and it got me to thinking, this doesn't sound like a paranormal thing. It almost sounds like a people thing. And the National Forest Service goes, nothing we can do. I mean, they disappear, and they're like, okay, yeah, but you have this list of people that are disappearing in your park in this area. Don't you find that weird? And they go, and they're like, well, fix it. And they're like, can't, cost too much money. No. That just makes me go, yeah, I think you know more than you're talking about here. So what is
isn't one of the conspiracies behind that is the underground tunnels that they have found?
Yeah, that could be one of it. And another one is that people go out hiking and a portal opens up and swallows them whole, never seen again. It could be natural predators. It could be cryptids. There's just a lot of theories out there.
Wait a second. I have a theory. What if Bigfoot is kidnapping people to join his gang?
It's you say that, and what's funny is there's a guy named Mark Barton, and
No way.
there's a guy named Mark Barton, and he was talking about how the Bigfoot kidnap people and they take them down like a tunnel, into a different dimension, and that he was led down this tunnel, and he so happened to like miraculously escape, and that the Bigfoot told him telepathically that that we are the hunters and you're the prey, and that we lure you down, all kinds of like creepy stuff in his mind, and that Bigfoot hunters are just lured in because they want to, basically, I don't know where they take them. He says that he escaped with his life somehow, but he was like hypnotized to just walk down this tunnel, into this portal. And then that was his theory on it. There was another guy that was interviewed, I think, by Tucker, and he was talking about that that the aliens had made a deal with the United States government that every couple of years, they're allowed to take one person or a couple of people, not every day, not once a year, but every couple of years, so that there's no suspicion and they can experiment on it. And one of the guys that was interviewed by Tucker Carlson, he was a guy that sounded like this, like, there I was, Tucker, and he was kind of like unhinged. So, yeah, it was just like the most interesting. Let me tell you something, Tucker the fucker. Let me, just like, he's just like this guy that was just like so like wild, But then it got me thinking, like, what if this guy is I'm so stupid. What if this guy, was taken and was experimented on, and what if he was just like a regular dude, like, oh wow, what a great, and then after they prod his brain and fried him, they let him go. There was actually a case in the 90s where this guy was abducted, him and a friend of his, and basically they were told, because they completely fried his friend's brain, like he was just a different person, right? And they let him go. They let them both go. And he was like, I'm going to tell everyone. And then allegedly, allegedly, the alien said, go ahead, tell everybody. You're crazy. Who's going to believe you? Go ahead. And then that was it. And he woke up in his house, and he had his shoes on the wrong feet, just stuff like that. Like they just slapped everything together and just released them,
Yeah, I remember hearing about that somewhere.
That happens when you get drunk too.
Mm-hmm. You get that.
Happens when you get drunk too.
Yeah, especially if you're like in the beginning of the show where I'm like a girl with no self-esteem. Yeah, if you're one of those, you wake up with your pants on your head.
Why? How do you come up with this shit?
I was neglected as a child.
Makes sense.
Let's see what else. So there was a conspiracy that I was kind of looking at. Honestly, guys, I have like so many conspiracies in my back pocket that I just don't know which one to talk about. But here's an interesting one. So have you guys ever heard of Disney deaths? Like when you go to Disneyland or Disney World and then there's an accident, right? Okay, so you have, yes. Let's see sorry guys, I'm kind of flustered here. So there has been documentation saying no one has ever died at Disneyland, right? Like no one has ever died at Disneyland. And this guy witnessed somebody get hit by a roller coaster, because basically what ended up happening was the carts were attached together, and one of the carts kind of, the latch came off or whatever, and he flew right off and he got hit. Boom. And he's flopping through the air, boom, and he hits the ground. So these paramedics, the guy's dead. These paramedics come and they're like resuscitating him. They're like doing the chest compressions and they're doing all that kind of stuff until a vehicle comes, like an ambulance. A vehicle comes, and then they're still like doing the CPR on this corpse until they leave. And this guy was dead. Obviously, he was dead. Not only was he hit by a mechanical, an evil machination, but also he flew through the air and he fell. I think he fell like 50 feet, onto the concrete. And they were doing resuscitations until the property, they pronounced them dead. So the second time that I read about something like this happening was there was a girl that was, I guess Disneyland used to have like a rotating stage, like when they were up on stage and it would switch, spin, and it was like a completely different set now, like to tell a story.
Yeah.
And so one of the employees, she was a girl that her dream was to work at Disney, and and this was like a dream come true, and she was so happy. And as people were coming in, she's like, have your, take your seat, prepare. And she was like super like bubbly, right? So,
Okay.
so one day the stage shift is happening, and then somebody didn't raise a metal bar that was like supposed to hold something. It was laying down flat, so it was like basically imagine a platform like this, and there's like a bar sticking out like this. So it spun around, I guess, hit her in the head and killed her. Right? She falls over. And then here you have these Disney employees are running over, and they're doing chest compressions, they're doing all kinds of stuff, and they're like, while the stretchers are coming, they mount her on the stretcher. This guy's got one of those bags in her mouth, and she was dead, like it split her head in two, so she's dead. So this guy's got the bag in her mouth, and these guys, they don't even know if they're paramedics. Somebody said that they witnessed somebody giving like improper chest compressions. Like these people don't know what they're doing, So shove the thing in her mouth.
Yeah.
So he's giving her, he's doing the inflatable thing. You know what I'm talking about? That forces air into your lungs instead of doing a mouth to mouth. They use that thing. So mount her onto this ambulance, drive her off the property, pronounced dead. So that whole thing where no one has died at Disney World or Disneyland is like they don't pronounce dead until somebody comes along and says, yeah, this person is dead. So they're resuscitating you. And the conspiracy is that the people that are, doing these kind of are just paid actors. They're not paramedics. They're not any type of medical anything. They're just there just to, make it seem like these people have a chance, for the audience, so no one panics,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense because, I mean, you're going to a show and, they got fireworks or something like that. And then Chuckles the monkey gets caught on fire.
Right.
And he drops dead and he's in a pile of flames, and then people come over and put him out, and then like scoop him away.
Chuckles the monkey. Oh, damn it.
They have, one, it stops people from panicking. 2, they have to protect their image. Like, it's a family-friendly place. Everybody wants to go here. It's fun.
Family friendly.
Through here.
Family friendly.
Who is now ashes.
Yeah, and there's people that'll like take their like loved ones' ashes and like go on a Disney ride and just like have it fly everywhere.
Yeah, I thought they put
there's a family
kibosh on that like years ago.
Well, and what's creepy is like a bunch of Disney movies have the darkest conspiracies and stories behind them too. Like Peter Pan, that one's so freaking dark.
Yeah, that's a good one. So, yeah,
really good one.
A good damn. See, now I'm gonna flash my brain. I'm kidding. So
wait, which conspiracy theory do you know?
Okay, so it's not really a conspiracy. Well, yeah, it's not really a conspiracy theory. It's more of, what the book originally was. So the Peter Pan series, or Peter Pan and Wendy, was like a revised edition of the Peter Pan story. So originally, the Peter Pan book was called The White Bird, and it was about or Peter Pan, the boy who hated mothers. So yeah, so dark. So the White Bird was basically, this boy who gets lost, and he finds his way home. And when he finds his way home, his parents have already had another baby, so he was replaced. So he decided he hates mothers, right? So originally Peter Pan would go and he was alone. He was, oh geez, sorry guys.
Your puppies are getting mad.
Yeah, they are. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. You tell your conspiracy. You tell your conspiracy, and then you said you had a conspiracy on Peter Pan.
Okay, go take
So
care of your puppies. So, the one that I know is that instead of Peter Pan being this lovely person coming to take your children to dreamland and show them this beautiful world, he's actually taking them to a make-believe heaven when they're either sick and dying or on the verge of dying or whatever. And he's actually taking their soul away. So Peter Pan's not that friendly.
Oh yeah, I heard something
And
like that.
Captain Hook is actually the good guy.
And Captain Hook is the good guy, and all his
Yep.
members are all the members on his ship are kids that got away from Peter Pan
Mm-hmm.
and grew up. But they still, I don't know, still haven't moved on.
Yeah, and Peter Pan's trying to take all the children away and make them kids forever and live in their own personal hell. He's come
Okay,
to take their
personal hell.
souls. If you
All
think
right,
about it, though, Neverland, I mean, it's, yeah, in the beginning, it's like this beautiful place where, like, you can run and be free and be a child forever, but it's actually kind of freaking creepy. You have pirates coming after you, you have freaking crocodiles about to eat you, mermaids are drowning you and shit. Like, that sounds like hell to me. No thanks.
Yeah.
I don't want a mermaid drowning me. I
Well,
want to be friends with
yeah.
mermaids.
Well, the crocodile represents
Time.
well,
One of them does.
well, death itself, because his name was TikTok. So tick tick
Mhm.
tick tock tick tock tick tock.
You know, in so the original Peter, this is in Peter Pan and Wendy. This was like the revised edition of the Peter Pan book. So it said that, you know how the kids never grow up, right?
Yeah.
And they never grew up. It wasn't because the land was magical. It was because it clearly says, and I don't know if you already talked about this, but it says that when the boys could no longer fit through the small opening, it says Peter Pan would cull them. So
That just sounds
yeah,
so creepy and predatory.
yeah, he killed them. Like as soon as they got too old, they
Creepy.
killed them. So then it said
Yeah,
that
he's
the
gonna take their
boys,
soul.
if they couldn't fit through this little tunnel where they lived underground, he would kill them. So it says that the boys that would run away would escape Peter Pan and become pirates. So yeah, and they became adults, and then they would wage war. So then Peter Pan would go and then recruit more kids. He would so in England, they used to tell kids, lock your windows, because if you don't, Peter Pan will take you. You know.
Yep.
So Peter Pan would go and he'd kidnap the kids and then force them to fight this war that he basically started. So Peter Pan was the villain of the book.
He's such a piece
and
of
also,
shit.
yeah, he's like Zach Morris on Saved by the Bell. He's a piece of trash. So Peter Pan also didn't have a shadow, because in lore, demons don't have reflections, nor do they have shadows. So he would. So he would tell people, little girls, he would kidnap girls because they needed a mother, he said. The little girl, Wendy, hence Wendy. The way he told her was he needed help finding it and taking his shadow, he said, because he wanted it stitched back on. So she would help him, like basically try to catch his shadow, and then he would take her. And that's how he took her. And then he forced her to become the mother of the Lost Boys. So then when it became really popular, people became disturbed by the Peter Pan character. It's like, wait a minute, he just kidnaps kids and he takes them.
He does.
So which is why also Peter Pan has pointed ears, and he has pointed ears because he's originally an imp. An imp is a malevolent creature, which takes children. An imp is a form of a fairy. Fairies take and eat kids. So that's what he originally was. And so yeah, it's so dark. So then when people begin to kind of saying like, I think I'm going to take my kids to this, the Disney Corporation's like, we can make a movie out of this, but we're going to have to clean it up a bit, So So they did, and this is the Peter Pan that we got now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the more famous Disney characters have been quote unquote Disneyfied from their original stories, like Sleeping Beauty. It's
Oh,
yeah, that's not
that
good.
one's creepy.
What's the Sleeping Beauty story? I'd never.
So the dark part of it is that
This one.
Prince Eric is supposed to wake her up with a kiss, right? In the original book, it wasn't a kiss. She was
Oh,
she was SA'd awake, and then
Mhm.
Prince Eric enslaved her to work at his castle for the rest of her life, or something like that.
Yes, he did. Uh,
Yeah, there's
so
I
that.
could have swore that one was in here.
Prince Eric.
I think it was Prince Eric. I don't know.
No, it
Such a
Am I
wasn't
thinking
Derek.
the Little
Not
Mermaid?
Derek. Derek.
Eric,
I'm pretty sure it was Derek with a D.
Derek. What
Yeah.
a douchebag name. Yes, the Little Mermaid. Do- How in the original story, the Little Mermaid, in the end, kills herself. Right? She hurls herself into the ocean, and then she becomes
hmm
foam. So she killed herself because the man that she loved married someone else. Disney's a
Yeah,
damn Disney Disneyfies everything. A lot of the, like, for example, damn, here I go on my rant. But like, for example, a lot of the Native American history is so Disneyfied that a lot of people have lost the concept of what those times were, like what Native Americans were. Like now, when we think,
hmm
Native Americans, we think Pocahontas, right? Like, oh, they're like in touch with nature and all that kind of stuff. When in reality, like, holy shit, like the Native Americans, not
Pocahontas is
only
sad.
the original story. Um,
Yeah, it's so sad what happened to her. Good Lord.
yeah. Um, so we get this whole history where they care about nature and all that kind of stuff. But originally, if you look at some of the stuff, like the whole concept of they use every part of the animal that came from Disney, like Disneyfying things. When in reality, they would stampede hundreds of buffalo off a cliff just to harvest one. And then there's points in Idaho where there's like great bison drop offs. And then when they struck a deal with people that were pelt hunters, are like, look, for every pelt you can give me a buffalo, we'll give you booze. And then became the massive slaughter of buffalo wherever they found them. But so there were stories that were told, and also there's huge sites where you can find just piles and piles of bison skulls because and also full skeletons because they weren't harvested. They were killed, they were skinned, and then left there in exchange for whiskey. You know,
hmm
so then when we get like those kind of stories, a lot of it we think Disney, like we think about like Pocahontas and then the grandmother tree, whatever, and it's just like Disneyfying everything. So and it sucks. What sucks is that the Brothers Grimm were, they told great stories that were collected from different. So where they were collected from different tales, like from ancient stories to kind of tell, like, hey guys, life is dangerous. Go into the forest, you're gonna get eaten. So gee, sorry guys, these puppies want attention. So, but it's okay. So so then they Disneyfy them, and then we listen to them, and then we're like, or we watch them, and we're like, wow, these stories are great. And then it's like, you know what? Did you hear? All these movies and all these are based off of stories. Let's read these to our kids. And then you begin like, oh, the tale of the Little Mermaid, and then you start like, what? They ripped out her tongue. Like, in the movie, didn't they take her? Didn't they magically take her voice?
They took her
yeah.
voice box. Have
Like
you
in the
not?
like,
Oh my goodness. You
so
need a
they took.
Disney movie education.
So they took the voice, right? And the
Yes.
voice box. In the original story, they cut off her tongue. They took her tongue and Ursula cut it off, and then she had her tongue like in a box. Oh, jeez, she had her tongue in a box. With Pinocchio, there's a conspiracy. I'm going to go into that. So there's a conspiracy with Pinocchio, but
Do it.
So with Pinocchio, at some point he gets tired of living because he's not a real boy. No one takes him serious. So Pinocchio takes a nuke and he hangs himself from a tree, and he's there for days. And then he realized, like, I cannot die. So originally, with Pinocchio, jeez, what guys? So originally, with the Pinocchio story, supposedly one of the animators, right? They're like, you know what? I have an idea for a story. And then they started introducing their own ideas. It's like, we can actually bring our stories together and add them to the movie. So then supposedly this guy heard of an island out there where they take little boys and girls, mostly boys, and then they do stuff to them. And they, oh, geez, I'm sorry, guys. Continue. I have to figure this out real quick.
Continue.
Oh.
I don't know the Pinocchio conspiracy theory.
Have you not heard that, Birdie?
A little
About
bit. Yeah, it's an island where
Don't give them food.
like wayward kids or something like that. And the longer they're there, the more and more they turn into jackasses.
In all honesty, I always thought Pinocchio was kind of dark and creepy, period. Like, I remember watching it as a kid and being like, this is terrifying. Why are we watching this right now?
I know, huh?
Like,
Well,
the whole game kidnapped and it was just terrifying. I didn't like that one.
Yeah, when I was a little kid and I was watching Pinocchio and they got to the island where the more kids like smoked or drank or did bad things, they started changing into donkeys or jackasses.
Yeah.
And it just kept getting like really darker and darker. I'm like, I'm 8. Why am I watching this?
We still doing Pinocchio?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So there's a scene where they're like in some kind of bar, right? And then this guy's talking about taking these boys to an island, and I think it's like a fox that's kind of like the one that's taking a boy. And this guy's like, there's an island where we could take these boys. And what do you do with the boys? And then he starts whispering what they do with the boys, like, tap, tap, tap. And then you see the fox, and he's like, what? These boys? And the guy's like, they don't come back as boys, and it's just like so dark, and yeah, it's creepy.
So dark. Well, and what's another dark one? All Dogs Go to Heaven. Have you guys watched that one as an adult?
No, I've never seen that.
I seen it as a kid. And then
that one's dark.
A few years ago, or no, it was like 10 years ago, somebody dropped the theory, and I was like, that is messed up.
It's so
now I can't watch it ever again.
Well, and that little girl actress, oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't remember her name right now, and I feel like an asshole for it. But yeah, she passed away before that movie was like even finished. What was her name? Anybody in the chat remember her name? Help me out, guys. Come on.
Wait, am I thinking of the right movie? There was a movie, I'm thinking of The Land Before Time.
She played Ducky. Yeah, she played Ducky in The Land Before Time.
Wasn't she murdered by her dad?
Yeah, she was murdered by her dad before the filming of All Dogs Go to Heaven was finished.
Judith Barcy.
Yes, thank you. That was going to drive me freaking crazy. That movie's super dark, though.
Yeah, so, damn. Jeez. Sorry, guys. They're super noisy today. I'm thinking of just letting them out and then let them just run the studio. But they're going to pee everywhere. Oh, I might just bring one on camera.
We're gonna see a puppy.
Please.
Everybody get excited.
Oh, all right. What are you freaks doing? Who am I going to select? You.
Oh, I'm so excited.
Oh boy. All right. Oh,
Oh, I want it. I wish I had time for a dog. I only have time for cats. Oh, it's so cute. Look at that freaking face. Oh my God.
all
I
right. Get out
love
of here,
it.
freak.
Like you.
No, no, thanks. Thanks, man. Okay. All right. Yep. You're the runt. Get out of here. All right. So another conspiracy that was super dark was the how a lot of celebrities like pop singers and all these kind of things originally went through what was called the Disney Club or the Mickey Mouse Club, whatever the hell it is.
Yep.
And supposedly the conspiracy is at some point, if they begin to, there's like a program that they're programmed when they're kids. And as soon as they begin to stray, no, I don't want to play with you. They begin to stray from the program. There's like code words or something that they're told, and it basically it like makes them freak out. So like a lot of these celebrities at some point have a moment where they just break and they're either like on drugs or they go insane. Yeah, like Britney Spears. Britney Spears or another one that I guess got hooked on a lot of drugs.
Lindsay Lohan.
Yeah. So
You want me to keep going?
well, yeah. Well, that's the point that I'm trying to come here. That's the point that I'm trying to make.
Information in my brain.
Well, that's the. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, that's the point that I was trying to make. Is that
really came out normal was what's her face? Lizzie McGuire chick, Hillary Duff.
Yeah. Hillary Duff.
Everybody else went psycho.
The one that I know of that got out of there unscathed. I don't know how she did it, but
I don't know.
Not to mention the Nickelodeon kids. Oh my God.
Yeah, what's with that? Like I've seen some stuff. Get out of there. I've seen some stuff on that, but I don't know.
Did you not watch the documentary on that?
No.
Oh my! You gotta watch the documentary on that. That will blow your mind and it will destroy your childhood.
So, well, I didn't have cable.
You watched Nickelodeon, I was just gonna say, wait, you probably didn't watch that like I did. Just kidding.
I lived in a place with
through the jungle barefoot.
Yeah, no electricity. Anyway, so so it's just one of those things where they have like a kill, and I guess that there's a moment when they're interviewing, I think it's Britney Spears, and they say a certain word, and it makes her freak out like on camera. And
I haven't heard that.
I don't remember. You haven't heard that? Like you can watch them, and they call it like they say that she's a clone, but it's not that they're clones. It's just they're programmed. I mean, just like MK Ultra, right? What was it, like Project Monarch? Which I think it was Project Monarch.
I don't know. The Britney Spears clone conspiracy, I almost want to believe that one.
Why? Because it's so fun?
No. Because if you watch the little weird dance videos that she's done, she does have a certain tattoo that does either move or disappear. Her face looks different in some videos. Her mouth looks different. Like, there's just different things in all these videos about her. So that one I can almost believe, but at the same time, I'm just like, Britney Spears has always been weird. What's fucking new?
Yeah, but do you think that's because she's a clone, or you think it's just the programming that they've been put through? It's almost like they want them to program kids. And I forget what it is. What's that other clone conspiracy? Avril Lavigne, like she's a clone, or there was like she was replaced by a lookalike. You've heard that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't believe that one. I refuse to believe it. No.
I think I remember something like that. Is that at some point during her career, she just like went poof, and then somebody that looked like her came back and took over or something like that. And Am I getting that wrong? I might be.
No, that she always had like a look-alike with her at all
Mhm.
times. Like if you look like in the background, she's walking and there's somebody that looks like her. It was like, who the hell is that? But her hair color was different, and then at some point they just replaced her with this person because she was.
Yeah, they say like the jawline with the clone is
Why are
different.
you all wet?
Something with the eyes was different. I think her eye placement is different. But I really like Afro Lavigne, so yeah. Fine.
Well, I mean, and also another thing is that these theories aren't even new. I mean, look at what was going on with the Beatles. They had those type of conspiracies
Oh yeah.
that
They still
Paul
do.
was dead. Yeah, Paul was dead. I mean, Ringo Starr got laid and he was ugly as hell. You know, all these kind of different things. Whoa, what's the
Yeah.
matter, Birdie?
Why are you giggling? Birdie's
Ringo
not
Starr
giggling for some
Ringo
odd
Starr
reason.
got
Did you
laid, but
just
he's
see a
ugly as
hot
hell or
girl?
something.
The what? The what?
What did you say, Birdie?
Said Ringo Starr got laid, but he's ugly as hell, so it's a
Yeah.
conspiracy theory.
Yeah. They're like, look, if you want to escape these tunnels, you're gonna have to bang Ringo Starr. Damn it, not
Ew.
that. And it's like that old joke. What was that joke? It says, "What's the worst thing?"
I like Laura's comment.
I like how he's not.
Yeah.
Okay. Stevie Wonder is not blind. He pretends.
He pretends.
Yeah. Okay. So hear me out, guys. There's plenty of
Okay,
pictures. There's plenty. Okay. So there's plenty of pictures. There's plenty of videos of not only is Stevie Wonder looking at text messages, but also he's taking pictures. You know, he's got the camera and he's like taking pictures of people. Shaquille O'Neal of all people. He said.
Okay.
So Shaquille O'Neal said, and he talks. Did he catch a bunch of shit for this? How he said that one time he was running in the court and Stevie Wonder was looking right at him, and then he was like kind of threw up. He said he said he was just watching him walk through the court, and then he stopped, and then he just stopped, and he kind of like was like, "What the hell?" So then a second time he was standing there, and he's kind of like looking at Stevie Wonder now, and he kind of like raises his hand a little bit, like to say hi, and then Stevie Wonder like waves back. You know, so then whenever he was on that one TV show, the sports, I'm not big into sports, so. so there was like a TV show where he talks about sports, and on there he's always talking about like, hey, he ain't blind. Trust me, I threw a crunch bar at him and he caught it midair, you know, and so he's talking about like.
She brought this up.
Uh-huh.
I'm just glad she brought this up because it's just hilarious.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like he may not be blind. I don't believe he's blind. That's but the conspiracy behind that is that Stevie Wonder saw how much not just empathy, but how much the market was for like handicapped singers and all those kind of things. So he saw Ray Charles and he's like, I could be the new Ray Charles. You know? So
what if he's like legally blind without glasses though?
So then why the hell is he wandering around like touching shit? You know, like he was that blind kid from Dude Where's My Car? Remember Dude Where's My Car?
Wouldn't you do it too?
No.
If you made money off of playing the piano wearing sunglasses, wouldn't you do it? I mean, come on.
Okay, first of all, that's gay. Number two, no.
First of all, that's gay.
No, so that's a conspiracy with yeah, no thanks. I'm not doing that.
If I made millions of dollars doing that, I would totally do it.
Pretend to be blind.
All of us a house. Yeah, I could buy all of us a freaking compound. We could invite the Nightmare Roadshow crew that watches us, and we could all just party.
Have like a cult. Start.
See,
like
we could start our cult.
And you're all part of the cult. Welcome to the cult. And our leader would come out every once in a while, but we never see his face. He just has like a hood on, and he comes out and he's like, "This is the greatest compound I've ever seen the greatest compound. People look and they say, "Wow, what a compound!" You know, and it's like, who is that? Who is that guy? You know, who is he? You know, like I can't believe it. These guys, I don't know. You know, so shut up, fake news. You know, that Donald Trump isn't he good? So wow,
Oh,
we
that's
did like
just
anyway.
terrible.
So yeah. Anyway, what the fuck was I talking about? Oh, so no, there's like a lot of these type of conspiracies how we're being slowly manipulated. You know, in many different ways. Even the whole Stevie Wonder thing, that could just be like emotional manipulation because we look at somebody and we're like, you know what, like his music sucks, so we're like, you know what, but he's blind. You know, so it's cool. Leave that alone. So
His music's not that bad, but okay.
I don't like it. You know who? I wonder who the first person. I almost Beethoven. He was deaf. You know, he probably really wasn't. You know, he's probably just like pretending. You know, and somebody's like, "Man, this guy fucking sucks," and then he's
Um,
like, "Hey, don't talk about me like that." And they're like, "You heard me?" And he goes, "Huh?"
there was a piano player that was going deaf when he wrote one of his last pieces. Oh my goodness, how am I not remembering this? I just listened to the song the other day. I'll find it. Hold on. Keep going. I just can't think of it right now. No, that's not it. I don't remember.
Oh, there we go. Well,
Anyways,
guys, this was
yeah,
all right.
I
So
don't
we
remember.
probably have Jeez, these
Shitty
puppies are now
memory.
they're attacking my food. So yeah, no, I mean, there's a lot of conspiracies out there. Like I said, it's just one of those things where everything is a conspiracy. And if you're a person that the cat's fighting the dog, the puppy. So if you're a person out there that believes that conspiracies are, you know, ridiculous, and it's like, oh man, you guys are conspiracy theorists. I mean, everything is a conspiracy. You just gotta just looking like, what is the one thing that, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
jeez. All right,
Mm,
damn cat. Sorry guys, I have like a zoo going on right now. No, it's I don't know, man. What if we're all just in the matrix and none of this is real? And it's just like if you look at our world, of course this is a simulation because a blind guy watching basketball, you know, it's like one of the most ridiculous things.
if it's a simulation, can someone like kind of come in and fix mine a little bit? It's a little fucked right now.
I was gonna say, if this is the Matrix, where are the cheat codes?
Yeah,
Everybody
where's
Well,
has
the
cheat
cheat
codes,
codes? I need some.
I have them all. I am the one that's running the simulation.
You're an asshole.
but you have to adopt one of his puppies.
You have to buy a puppy. I want a cheat code.
I already
Um,
told you I'm not buying a puppy.
Somebody buy a puppy. No, so okay, what's another good one? Oh, so another good one was a lot of people used to say when Walt Disney was first coming up that he had he would get his ideas from this entity that later people were saying that, well, maybe he had associate this whatever the hell it is disorder, but he says that he will take the form of a mouse and this mouse would talk to him and give him ideas, and he actually drew what the mouse looked like. And there's a famous picture out there where you have all of these, like he's standing there and there's like all these Mickeys, and the Mickeys look more modern, right? So they have like all these modern Mickey Mouse, and then there's one Mickey Mouse there that looks just like his sketch. It looks creepy, has a creepy face, and it kind of looks almost like it's putting his hand on Walt Disney's shoulder as he's standing next to the stand, you know, and he's presenting to all the people like, there it is, the thing that's giving him the ideas, you know.
That almost sounds like demonic in a sense.
Yeah, that sounds straight up creepy.
Yeah, jeez,
That
guys,
almost
take it.
what movie is it? Insidious, where that all black demon with the red face is just standing behind him at all times.
Is that the
Is it
one
Insidious? I think it is Insidious.
Yeah, it's
with the
Insidious.
little with the little boy, and then there's the
Who astral projects too far.
yeah. You know what's funny about
Mhm.
that movie that I hate? So the little boy is busy basically doing combat with a demon, right? And his dad is being tormented by an old woman. And in the end, doesn't the old woman take his body? Like that kid should immediately. His dad probably had puffy nipples, because how the hell are? Because do you remember how he's like he doesn't let anyone take his picture because whenever there was a picture, there was like an old lady behind him. And
Yeah.
at the end, he's like combating this old lady by yelling at her, "You leave me the hell alone!" And then like she takes over his body, and he's like, "That dude, she probably entered through his puffy nipples."
Gross.
Possessed through puffy nipples.
Well, yeah, I mean, a real man
Mhm.
would have just like thrown that old lady into the kitchen or made her knit something.
Mayor, what the fuck? No,
Yeah.
Insidious, that movie kind of fucked me up. That's a good
It,
one.
I never
if an
watched it.
old lady, if an old lady was trying to attack me, I would make her send me a check for $10 on my birthday every year.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen for you anytime. Sorry.
Bake me something. Bake me something delicious, woman. Um, damn,
Mhm.
this was a this was a great. I leave it on the windowsill so that. Anyway, let's see. Jeez, you got a creepy face. Oh, that's not nice. Um, this is the face that the Lord gave me, and
That's what he was blessed with.
this was a well, yeah. I mean, I play the piano, and people think I'm handicapped, and they throw money at me.
Just the
All
face
right,
only
so
a mother could love.
not even that. She was a very unkind woman. Um, all right, all right,
Oh,
guys. This
man.
was a yeah. Well, oh, what are you gonna do? This was a good episode, guys. Damn, there's so many conspiracies out there. We didn't even, you know, cover half of the
Yeah.
ones that I have in my back and front pockets. So well, eventually we'll do a part 3. Next week we should do medieval weird things, right? So it's like the strange things that would, like one of the jobs they had in medieval times was tasting food for the king. Like they would bring it, and that was your only job. It's like, hey, the king is coming. He's about to have his lunch. Eat it to make sure it's not poisoned. Then he sits there and just eats, and then the king just stares at him. Yeah, that was a
That was
legitimate job.
tough.
Yep, it was.
I
Um,
mean, you're pretty much just signing up to die eventually. So I guess if you're depressed or anything, that's the job for you. You're eventually going to die and not necessarily by your own hand, which is kind of sad. Either way, it's sad. Wow, that's fucked up. What a shitty
um,
job.
yeah, or you could be the midget. Um, in those times, yeah, if you were a little person, they would take you and then give you as a gift to the king. And that happened for are we in the future? Are we covering the next episode? Really quick. There's a lot more, trust me, guys. So one of his jobs was just so a lot of the times the kings wanted to feel bigger, just like like I'm big. So they would take
Yeah.
these midgets to stand next to them, and they would make them look bigger, and they would put them in costumes too. Like, here, wear this costume. They would stand next to them. They would play little pranks here and there, and eventually when they got sick of it, they would just execute it or put it away. Like, it wasn't even a person. They would just like take it somewhere, and it's like, here, you can have this thing, and he's like, unhand me, you know. And then that little person went and then was in Game of Thrones.
Dinklage.
Yeah, there you go. See, somebody got it. Jeez. Oh,
Basically,
is this
you
thing, is
have
this thing
puffy
on?
nipples.
Who?
Yeah. Are you not looking at what I'm? Okay, look at the bottom of the screen right now. Look at
We'll
the
be right
bottom
back.
of your screen. It's a little comment. Okay.
I need.
I'm about
I
to
need.
show you the next one.
Okay, let's see. Puffy nipples, maybe, but not a creepy face. I
Our sheriff's
I
awesome.
no, I do not have that. I'm a real man, so I don't
How do
have the puffy
we?
nipples.
I mean, you could have puffy nipples.
No,
We
because and
don't
I'll tell
know.
you how. No, well, and I'll tell you how everybody knows. So whenever there's a fire breaks out or something, people push the puffy nipple people aside because they could just tell, and they say, "Hey, Decon, help us. We know you have testosterone flowing. You
I was
know,
gonna say something different.
we know you have testosterone flowing. Help us." And then I'll go and I'll help them, and that's just yeah. And there you go. And I don't have puffy nipples.
Okay.
The end.
Okay.
I all right,
If
and that
that
should be
makes you feel better about yourself, then we'll just give it to you.
well. I mean, start a fire right now, and then we'll see if whether or not you want my help or not.
No, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah. Don't start a
No.
fire. That's illegal. Anyway, so guys, be sure to like and subscribe. To the show. Check out the art. I forgot what the page is. I don't know. He probably went to go start a fire, so I'm probably gonna have to leave soon and rush over to help. Like, yeah, man. So, anyways, yeah, check out the merch. I mean, it's awful, but I mean, I'm blind and I made it, so buy the merch. What is the thing? It's T Public and it's NRS, right?
NRS.
NRS. I also have another one that's
Oh
more like
my
my stuff.
gosh,
But
hold on. Our sheriff knows more than we do.
oh, there it is. Um,
Yeah.
there you go. So there it is right there. So the link. So go check it out. I got some stuff, and whoever made the request of I don't even know what it was that they wanted. I'll look at it and then I can convert it to a shirt, a sticker, a mug, or all of the above.
Okay, so I have homework for you. Are you ready?
No, I didn't do homework growing up, and I refuse to do it now.
Okay, so what you need to do is you need to go to our YouTube channel, look at whatever the picture is for the show tonight, and that's what the merch is that you need to do.
Yeah, I'm
That's
not
your
doing
homework.
that. Fuck. Yeah, no
Oh my
thanks.
god.
Somebody do that and then send it to me.
No.
Anyway, so this was a great episode, guys. Thanks for joining us. I mean, like I said, like and subscribe, share the show. If you know somebody out there that you're like, you know what, this person is either gonna be in a cult someday or he got knocked over when there was a fire, so that they can go to the other person that didn't have the puffy nipples. Send this show to them, kind of help them a little bit. And that's all I got. So remember, guys, to always look both ways, especially if you find yourself on Nightmare Road. I don't know why I said it like that.
It's so aggressive.
So
Hi,
creepy.
everybody.
It's no puffy nipples. That's fine.